It's time now for the good news segment. Stay with me, don't go.
Good news.
Good news.
Good news.
Good news. Good news.
Well, today's good news basically has to look at, should I say, impacting stories or things that are changing the lives of people in some countries and looking at some of the rural population in different parts, of Africa.
Right. Okay.
Now, in Zimbabwe, you look at the Gwanda population and the Motobo district, and you realize that they mainly rely on agriculture for their livelihoods.
Okay.
So if something should affect it, you're looking at rainfall, you're looking at biossoil, the climate, or anything that has a direct effect on the agriculture means they're going to have issues with being able to sustain themselves for a certain period of time.
Okay.
And for some time now, they've had poor management of their natural resources. I mean, they also had deforestation, this firewood and charcoal issue, and then there's overgrazing. Yeah, the people who just send the cows everywhere and anywhere.
Indiscriminately, yeah?
Yeah, and if you try. But when you actually see a cow head coming, you look for somewhere and pass. When you see them, the cattle like that, you look for somewhere and pass. And all that is affecting them. Because I'm just imagining if you've actually made your farm and stuff, and then somebody leads their cattle to graze there.
Well, sometimes they don't deliberately lead them there, you know. Some of them just moving, you know. And when they see something that is tempting, which is a grass ready to be consumed, in as much as it's not supposed to be, they divert. And before you could actually redirect, you know, their route again, oh la la, a lot of destruction. Okay.
Yeah, so they also had issues when it comes to having clean power, like irrigation systems.
Okay.
For them to have water, to actually water, most of the women had to go to the river, and that is like miles. So you spend a lot of time just walking to the river and then walking back and coming to water your plants, Charlie.
That's a lot of work for a limited 24 hours.
You know, and I'm just imagining you have like an acre. Or like even a plot, and you have to water everything. The trips you would do to the riverside, because you can't carry something that is as much as you can. It just can't go out of proportion.
You cannot do it. But what is the solution to that? Is there?
There is a solution, and so this one, what happens? Simangali, so he happens to be a farmer in Zimbabwe, and he used to complain about the fact that, I mean, they had to go get water all the time. It was a problem. Their wives, their mothers, it was a big problem for them. The deforestation was affecting them. The grazing was affecting them. So practical action actually decided to engage them and also help them with knowledge skills as well. And one thing they did was to install an 18 solar-powered irrigation scheme.
Okay.
Yes, and that is helping them. And alongside installing that, they are building 2 dams.
Right.
Yes. Also, that is to collect the rain and groundwater, so the people can have access to water the plants, and necessarily having to make the trips to the riverside and back. Now that cuts down on time.
Okay.
Giving them more time to focus on the plants, and also that means there's going to be more water available for the plants to grow. Exactly.
And the animals as well. That's the cattle. They could also.
No,
water.
this one is for the agriculture.
Just for the agriculture alone. Okay. Right.
You're really interested.
Now, I thought there were.
No, I mean, because they mostly go to the riverside sometimes, and sometimes the people provide for them.
Okay.
But then these women and these men have to actually move to the riverside to fetch.
Fetch water.
It's like you're coming back to just to come and water a farm.
Yeah,
and go back
and
again.
maybe before you get back, you know, the animals could also, you know,
have.
Right. I get it. But that's a great innovation. Okay.
I'm just grateful to God I'm not going to meet that scene. Like, it go over me.
I know, right? Sometimes, I mean,
it go over me. Hey,
right, so
no, but then they're doing that for the people, and I don't know if you've seen. I don't know. Have you ever used a motorway?
I have several times. Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if you see by the side there are these farms there, and there's this like an irrigation system they've done. It's this black. It's a type of pipe. You lay it between when you actually do the. I've forgotten the name. They don't plow, but then there's a way they do the mounds there, and then they lay the pipes between, and then they have actually pierced holes in it.
Okay, so
then it's connected. It lines
so
everywhere.
It waters
Exactly. Then they've
In
connected it to a
between.
water source. Yes.
Okay.
So the immediately you turn it on,
Uh-huh.
it starts watering
Start sprinkling
at
all
once.
over. Right.
So you don't need to go and come, or you don't need to try and be covering
Right.
everywhere
Mhm,
at a time.
mhm.
And when it's like that, it's easier for you to water more.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
it
have the
saves
plant
you
to
time.
retain,
Mm.
other than it's like you water and then you have to go and walk a long distance. Before you come back, the sun has actually scorched up the one you already poured on
Yeah.
it, and then you
I
have to
think
pour more
it all boils down to the availability of water.
of water.
That's the thing. Because if you have it, you'd have. I mean, the pipes are not the problem. You just connect them, and then the
Yeah, but you know, some
water is-
people don't actually have the knowledge, the skill.
Yeah, to
So
do,
yes,
to come up
so
with that
the
innovation.
knowledge
Yeah, that
was
is-
there,
that's
and that
also
was
true.
something that they used to teach
I
them,
agree.
and then they
Mm.
trained them as well. They also taught them about afforestation.
Yep.
'Cause, I
Build
mean, look,
trees, huh? Plant more trees.
The cutting down was disturbing them.
Yeah.
Now, the
yeah.
key thing for me here was the fact that they worked with the local government. I
Okay.
believe the local government are able to achieve more
Mhm.
as compared to the central government.
Yeah, that is very true. As a matter of fact, yeah, coming down to even the district levels, because that's where development
one-on-one,
actually
exactly.
takes place. Not to
The
where
one-on-one works over
sometimes
there.
because some of us don't know that
Mhm.
development is more of like at your doorstep with the district assembly, the DCE, an example from our base Ghana here. But you see the people looking at the member of parliament, the regional minister,
Yeah, because they
and all
believe
of
they
that.
should be the ones doing
Exactly.
something.
Yeah, but it's because of sometimes the political talk. But that is a great thing, working with the local government too.
And that is helping
Right.
them. Now,
Mm.
this someone may wonder, okay, how much of the good news is now the town of Gwanda actually relies on the exports of these agriculture, these food
Oh, wow.
crops.
Yeah, yeah.
That is what gives them money. That is what allows them to be able to raise the prices a bit so they can make something. And most of the people rely on this to be able to put food on the table.
Uh-huh.
So you can imagine how much of a big deal this sort of improvement and development is for them.
Right.
You understand? And for them to, I like the 18 solar powered irrigation system because, first off, it's solar, that's clean energy, that's renewable energy. So we don't have to worry about the fact that, oh, and then we're running out of money and then fuel and cost and management. No, it's solar. So the sun is going to be there. The only key thing here should be maintenance
Yep.
for the people, from the people as well. If they're able to maintain it, it's going to be there for long and can actually cater to their needs. You understand? And if this like this has been set up, that is jobs for the locals.
True.
Because somebody needs to maintain this. Someone needs to take care of it, check it. The installation and everything is the locals who did it. So that was job creation as well.
Okay. And Gwanda is in Zimbabwe?
Yes.
Okay. Right.
And one of the most important thing too they gave them is training on finance and access to finance and then marketing.
Okay. That's great.
It's very crucial to be able to make money. You can farm and everything, but if you don't know how to sell it, if you don't have access to funds, it becomes a problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Very true. Okay.
Yeah. And now the second thing we're looking at this one was how should I say it? It was coming from water.
It's coming from water.
As in this one, the main key was water.
Oh, yeah.
This one, the main key is sun.
Sand.
Yeah, sun.
Oh, the sun.
Sun, yeah.
Right. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Tell us
yeah.
more about it. Because I wonder, turning water into work in Zimbabwe is like, yeah, there's some gospel behind it.
Yeah, that was the first one.
Oh, that's the first one we just did.
Yeah.
But you said Gwanda. I thought we were talking about the second one.
No, Gwanda is also in Zimbabwe.
Oh, okay. So the first one it happened in Gwanda.
Yes.
And the second one's still in Gwanda.
Yes.
Okay. Tell us what's happening again in Gwanda. Great people, I guess. Okay.
So they have erratic rainfall.
Uh-huh.
Yes, and there's also a lack of electricity in Gwanda as well. I mean, the district. This also still affects the farmers because we're still looking at them in a different way, and it makes it difficult for them to feed themselves and then their families. Now, there's
Right.
poor investment because, I mean, there's no maintenance in the first place. So what happens is the old irrigation schemes become useless and unused, and then people don't see the need to invest anything into it.
Right.
Also, there's limited knowledge on how to store and distribute water, and it's hindering the crop development. You understand? Yes. And this is actually increasing drought by the place, also caused by climate change, and it's making it hard for them to grow enough food. I don't know if you heard of the people who live like nomads.
Yeah.
Move from one place to the other. Exactly. And then the ones that actually use bees and birds to find where they can get water for their plants.
Yeah. How are those? What are they called?
What?
those who use these and beds.
There's no name for them, but they're also like nomads. But theirs is like nomads just keep moving.
Yeah.
But then for them, they actually plant wherever they go.
Okay.
And then they use the bees and the birds. So if they
So
follow them, they get follow their trail,
Right.
and they stop here means there's water around here.
Right,
Whether it's
yep, yep.
underground or they will find it, stay there for some time, plant until the water there runs out.
And then they move again.
Then they move again in search of
Wow.
another trail.
Okay. Right.
Now, for this solution, there's been an installation of solar water pumps, and this allows the farmers to cultivate more land.
Okay.
Yeah, and it also helps them produce more food for the people to eat. It's not just about sending it out there, but having enough for you to eat. Because if they don't get enough to eat, that will lead to malnutrition.
Yep.
And that could bring a lot of issues for the people in the town. You wouldn't have strength. You wouldn't be able to do anything, invest or grow the town.
Right.
You understand? Now, they've also learned water conservation techniques, which is super important. Now, this will help the community become more resilient in times of droughts. Because, I mean, if you know how to preserve it and reserve the water, when drought comes, you know that, okay, we have a reserve of we have this and we can do this and do that and be able to store more or have more water.
Oh, right.
And now they've given the farmers ownership of the pumps.
Okay. Okay.
Yes,
So
and
by
they've also
the
helped them
local
with
government?
maintenance training. Yes,
Right.
they've also helped them with maintenance training. You know, there's a way you treat what is yours and what belongs to somebody.
Yeah.
That mentality.
That mentality.
Yes,
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
still there. Yes. So
Right.
this also is going to propel them to want to do more and engage further. And this, it kind of like a friendly gesture between them and the local government.
Right. Right.
So it's easier for them to embark on projects that actually will help the community.
Okay. Right.
And then there's also solar powered.
Wow.
The pumps are all
Clean
connected to
energy.
solar. So we're cutting down cost. Because just imagine they had to draft a budget for the main government
Yep.
to supply or provide the amount of money they needed for this.
That's a lot.
Like, I'm sure they'll be waiting for,
Yeah, for like forever.
because it won't come.
Well, even if it will come, it's gonna take time.
And
And
the people who would actually work on it would also take money.
exactly, that's another
And
one.
then installing. And it
There's
would
a
have
whole
been a
lot, there's
whole
a
lot
whole
of
lot,
things.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's just good that they're actually doing this themselves. And then and I feel, you see, sorry, but I feel this should be the approach we look onto. I don't know, people who say they are sick and tired of what the government are not doing and everything. This should be the approach, the community-based development.
Yeah. bottom
Together,
top,
yes, together you come. Okay, we're having issues with road and everything. If there are people who can, you contribute something and fix, because when you fix the community, who lives in it?
Well,
You.
you know how it is.
It's a community-based development.
Sometimes we're just being human by acting in a certain way.
Yeah, but I
No.
feel, I feel like we've waited and waited.
Who contributes what? Who contributes what? Who brings water?
And that is
But-
where you realize there's no development at the center of it.
Exactly, and we're all looking at the top, and top is not producing anything or providing anything.
The top is not. You see, the top is not experiencing what you are experiencing.
So you know the problem, so you can stand for it. All right.
Well, that's all we have for good news.
For good news. All right. Thank you. The show was Africa Daily on Africa Global Radio. Log on to africaglobalradio.com for more interesting stories.
Enjoy the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.